Hello, we are the Minnesota State contingent for the Midwestern Open Education Summit as hosted by the Midwestern Higher Education Compact. My name is Melissa Williams. I'm an instructional designer for the Minnesota State System of Colleges and Universities.
I'm John Fila. I am an English instructor at the high school level, but I also facilitate larger curriculum projects across the state.
And I'm Micah Gjeltema of the University of Minnesota Twin Cities, the Open Education Librarian. And we'd also like to acknowledge that we are here representing the state of Minnesota and that there are many of our colleagues doing important works at other institutions within the state that are not able to be here and be part of this video.
So in K-12, what's been happening is we have gathered a group of school districts called the Minnesota Partnership for Collaborative Curriculum. We are now over 200 school districts in the state that have signed on. And the goal of the project is to create standards-aligned courses for the 4 core content areas in English language arts, math, science, social studies in grades 3 through 12. The goal was to develop these courses with funding from the contributing members. We asked for $1 per student in each of their districts. The course content we host in an OER MN Google Apps domain provided by Intermediate District 287. And so we facilitated the creation of these courses that were assigned Creative Commons licenses using teacher writers from across the state in their different subject areas. So as those 40 courses were developed, we continued to spread the word and provide them in different formats. There's been an effort by some users to generate assessments and updates to the materials by using AI tools like ChatGPT and Claude and other layer of resources for teachers using these materials. The continued use of AI to incorporate these layers of accessibility, diverse perspectives, SEL-friendly language, and support materials like study guides and quizzes will make these more complete resources for teachers and school districts in K-12 in Minnesota and across the country. As the challenge with so much OER, awareness still continues to be our biggest barrier, and helping to get the word out about these resources and bringing in new partners can help continue development of the resources and ensure that they remain an important resource for teachers and students for years to come. I'll turn it over to Micah.
Thanks, John. Here at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities, we have been doing work on student affordability for some time, including open educational resources, supporting the creation of open educational resources textbooks, and other ways to incorporate affordable learning materials into courses across the university. Recent highlights of this effort include in 2022, the University of Minnesota Twin Cities hired a full-time open education librarian, that is me. And in 2023, we rebranded Course Material Services Department as the Affordable Learning and Open Education Department, or ALO. We've also established in the last year a Partnership for Affordable Learning Materials incentive grant program in partnership with the University of Minnesota Duluth. And that program has already struck dividends. We awarded 15 proposals in 2023-24, including 5 textbook creation projects. These projects will affect 9,100 students per year approximately, and will result in about $183,000 in savings. Not all of those courses, particularly some of those high volume courses within that number, are already teaching cost-free courses, which we're very pleased about. Some of our incentive grant program funds go towards making those materials more accessible and more sustainable. In the end, with our students who are enrolled in courses that previously did have a commercial textbook, we are projecting about $150 of savings per student per course annually, based on the figures that were given to us by those faculty based on their previous textbooks. As far as some of those highlights of those grants include an education textbook on Indigenous knowledge creation and dissemination. We funded the revision of a biology of sex textbook to address problematic framings of race and gender. We have a project going that will solicit student work to incorporate student perspectives into a companion reader for a college success course. And we're developing a music composition textbook with really dynamic files and audio accompaniment even within the textbook. You can see that some of these kind of emphases are on diversity and equity and making sure that we host more voices, I think, in the course materials that are representing our students as those students are engaging with them during their learning. And we're really excited to have so many, I think, really diverse projects and really diverse aims in our grant program. As far as next big things, the University of Minnesota Twin Cities is taking part in a grant project with a couple of peer institutions to test some open homework systems. We're very excited about that. And we will also be planning to send out a second call for proposals for our second year of an OER incentive grant program in 2024-2025. And with that, I'll hand it over to Melissa.
And we are actually made up of 26 colleges and 7 universities across 54 campuses. Like many systems and institutions, when Minnesota State entered the OER space, the primary focus was to reduce costs for students. The work started on various campuses and pockets and was championed at the system level by faculty development coordinators and faculty members from two-year colleges. Various groups were involved in setting strategic goals as they at the system level to support the work being done on campuses. So Minnesota State has been on a 10-year journey to enhance their OER initiatives in ways that maximize equitable outcomes for students. Thanks to legislative support, both financial and via official legislation, we've developed permanent and grant-funded positions and projects. In particular, OER-specific librarian development, faculty learning circles, and stipended projects, and evidence-based equity standards in our OER design and development initiatives have brought us to a moment where we're ready to launch our ZTP project. This project will further our current Z degree development by creating OER-specific OER that are specific to courses within our transfer pathway agreements between Minnesota State's 2-year and 4-year institutions. Further, the OER will be developed via collaborations between faculty, instructional designers, and other specialists to ensure quality, modularly aligned to course outcomes within each transfer pathway agreement, and supported by librarians to ensure ease of curation and use by faculty. So we're pretty excited about what the possibilities will be in our ZTP project. We'll give you a quick look here at some of the things that we have been doing and what the outcomes have been. So in 2019, Minnesota State identified the Z degree as an equity-based retention initiative to provide student options to take courses with zero cost for materials. In this case, a Z degree is a pathway that would allow a student to finish a 2-year degree with no to low course costs. You can see from the graphic that 18 of the 33 colleges and universities have either implemented course marking or are in the process of doing so, and that colleges with implemented Z degrees have had great success in saving students money. Based on continued success regarding these initiatives, the legislature continues to fund through one-time money ongoing and expanded work. In particular, this year, there is money allocated to library resources for Minnesota State libraries, separate from the funding of the 0.5 OER librarian and 0.5 OER support and training librarian positions. So all that work that Minnesota State has done around OER in the past 10 years is culminating in this ZTP project, where we'll bring what we've learned from our Z degree and OTP work, along with the resources that we've developed in supporting faculty OER and equity initiatives, into a single system. So here's where we would like to consider what MEC could offer to Minnesota. As you may have noticed, in the K-12, the university system, and the Minnesota State system, we're all working on different initiatives. They have a lot of similarities and we have a lot to offer each other, but we don't have a formal organization in place to be able to collaborate more intentionally. So we're envisioning our work with MEC as a way for us to explore our possibilities for how we can collaborate and make the most of the expertise and the dedication to OER that we see here in the state.